Morning. Hi, Jennifer. Let's just get... Alright, Jeff. What do you think? New, more engaging close-up shot of me. So this is the standard. The main view. We've still got the guitar zoom though. Just warming my hands up. Right, there we go. Oh, very good. Happy Halloween. Hi, Dennis. Jenna. Very good. Right. I think that's pretty good. Right, and then obviously we can have a bit more mic, which is great. There we go. OMG, how you doing? I think better put a track on. Need to find one. There we go. So, hi everybody. Oh, there's Sean. Hi, Sean. Lots of yeah. I mean, you can probably see. So I came to a conclusion yesterday because I noticed the views on the channel, the general reach. I mean, obviously the existing subscribers and stuff, like those guys are coming back. But I noticed that there was a drop in my overall reach quite drastically. And I think a lot of it was to do with the fact, because the only thing I'd changed when this drop had happened is actually the camera. And I think the camera was too far back, is the conclusion I'm coming to. Because why sort of would my phone and DJI, you know, live sessions have a lot of views and a lot of reach? I think it's purely to do with the actual framing and the proportions that I'm using. So being back here, or it's even further back than that, isn't as engaging as being up like here. So like now you can clearly see what's happening on the fretboard, and now the zoom is really zoomed, and I just have to kind of fit myself in the picture. So I don't know what you think of that. Let me know in the comments what you think. Jangle, how you doing? And any Frost, there we go, Frost. Oh, I've got graphene. Yeah. In fact, I've got some presets on it. It can only be that, really, unless, because it can't be. I've given viewer fatigue to everybody, burning them out. I don't think that would be as significant in terms of the number drop. It's definitely to do with the reach. And actually, I talked to like to the YouTube support team, and that's what they thought. It wasn't like a shadow ban or anything, because that doesn't really happen. It's just simply to do, I think, with the way people can, because like at the end of the day, it's psychology, isn't it? And when you see me this close up on your phone, because 80% of people who watch this are on the phones anyway, so it totally makes sense for me to stream vertically. Obviously, it's much bigger, and in terms of the proportions of the screen and how I'm using it psychologically, there's more presence there, isn't there? You know, I'm like literally now I'm like really in the room with you. Instead of you being in a room with me, I'm in a room with you. Yes, you lot out there. Subscribe. It amazes me, that subscribe button. So, yeah, interesting. Because at the end of the day, it's just delivering value, isn't it? And I don't think anybody's that bothered about looking at the room. I think they're more bothered at looking at the guitar, actually, and then probably looking at what I've got to say. Yeah, so, oh my God, anybody else get an ad? Because, I mean, that's the other thing to do when your numbers drop, right? Everything drops. So I talked to YouTube about this as well, and one of the things they seem to think is that then, you know, when the numbers drop, the limit the notifications, even though you've hit the notifications, that can get limited. But I would expect all of this will go back up very soon. I mean, the numbers dropped a bit, like, quite significantly, but then over the last week or so, they've been building back up. So I would imagine we'll be back to normal very soon. Maybe even today. Who knows? So, right, yeah. So, Sean, the hybrid picking thing. So that's something I've been working on. I mean, as you know, I didn't naturally take to the hybrid picking thing, but like now, because I do a lot of lives, I just need a reliable way to play what's in my head. And a lot of the time, hybrid picking is the way to do it. So literally, there's a lot going on with this hand. It gets really complicated, but I suppose I've replaced the upstroke with the hybrid with the middle finger, and it's a mixture. So when I'm improvising in my head, I can hear the picking articulation as well. So sometimes I want the articulation, and sometimes I want the hybrid, and it kind of helps with the sort of call and response phrases and tension and release. So you can kind of, when you mix it up, it sounds quite like a little bit more. There's a little bit more of a texture. I mean, it's marginal, but worth doing. The other thing is you can get notes to pop out really nicely without the attack of the pick, which is sometimes quite nice to have. So you get more of a smoother sound. But it's good to be able to do both. Back for another round. Good to see you, mate. Absolute legendary. Thank you. Thanks, Levi. It's very kind. But no, it's great to have people. Oh, let's have some likes. Let's have some thumbs up. Let's have some likes going on. So Jenna, that's very generous of you. Jenna sent 20 gifted memberships. Wow. Thank you. Thanks, Jenna. Excellent. Right, so I'm having one of my off days on guitar. So this is important. The off days are as important as the days that, like, when it all goes well. How much money do you make each month? Oh, I make a very respectable living out of music, and that's what I do. That's my full-time job. I've always been a full-time musician since leaving school, and I've always managed to get the economics to work out. So I have a perfectly normal life, car, house, all that kind of stuff, all paid for through hard work, playing music. I've had about, maybe it's about 6. So I don't think, like, I think the dip in playing is simply because I haven't done any practice yesterday. So I probably feel slightly disconnected. And any playing I did was on a completely different guitar. It was on acoustic. So there's that slight mismatch. What's my favourite song? Oof. I think the last thing I heard that actually moved me was Alan Holtz of Joshua. Kiesel. So I'm endorsed by Kiesel. So any guitar questions, anything like that, please do ask away. We can have a bit of a guitar lesson today, it's fine. I think he's away, Jenna. Hi, Pitch Master. Oh, thank you. Exam. It's interesting because I don't really consider myself as a fusion guitarist, and I think maybe you're the first person to go cool fusion stuff. To notice that in my genre, I have been studying a lot of fusion, but I haven't been fully committing to it since the last sort of 6 months, really. And the reason it's coming across like that is because I just got so bored with what I was playing. I started adding sort of chromatic stuff in. So thank you. Bro, I'm saying I'm 16 and can almost as much as... But thanks to my top 2 favourite guitars, and do almost as much as a professional now, thanks to my top 2 favourite guitars. Brilliant. Excellent. Very good. Right, anybody want to ask any questions? Let's have some more likes. That's going to be important. like it. Oh, very good. Oh, I was having fun there. I'm warming up now. I'm warming up. Right, we'll have a quick chat. I'll just pour a coffee. I really appreciate all the work you've done and for teaching me a lot. Permanent sub from me. That's brilliant. Thank you, Glitch. It's wonderful having you here and everybody else. Got any taps for this track? You mean like tapping or tips? Or some tips for this track? Yes, I've got tips for all tracks. So somebody was mentioning just mentioning following the chords. Now, I don't particularly, when you put a jam on, I don't recognise all the chords or hear them, but I think more like a vocalist. All right, I can hear a tune, and I don't think of like mechanically like that. So like a lot of jazz players will think like that. I think like a singer, because that's where the tune's going to be. So I just want to kind of work off my own instinct. Having said that, I have studied and I can do that chord playing to a certain degree. So the way I think of things is I'll have a tune running through my head and I just kind of play it. But there are certain sort of shapes I can play within that I know are going to sort of work and get me in the ballpark. So I hear things in 1 note, 2 note, 3 note melodies, as well as sort of like little simple cells of notes. So I'll hear these like little kind of simple things and then I just chain them together. And I can hear a contour of melody when I do that. But then there's also intervals as well. So there's certain intervals I'll hear or I gravitate towards. So I'll play a lot of fourths. I really like quartal harmony stuff. Fourths, sometimes fifths. So like, but the fourths in particular. So like, I'll break up a pentatonic scale. So I'm playing fourths and seconds. It's not quite strict like a quartal type thing, because there's that second in there, but it gives you that vibe and it fits really nicely sort of with most things. I'm trying to think of a typical, that kind of thing. I haven't practiced that for a while, so I need to. So do the shapes work in all keys? Yes, of course they do. all the shapes work. So if you're thinking about a framework, we're in. I'll just demonstrate this again, which is cool. If we think of, I'll put this back in trigon. So E minor pentatonic scale, E minor pentatonic scale in first position. Right, so that's the first thing. Then what I'll do is add a ninth to that. Now that's this F sharp. So wherever there's an F sharp, I'll start adding that in. The cool thing about that is we get what's called a hexatonic scale, which is 6 notes of the 7-note scale. We're in a natural minor scale here, so we do have an avoid note, so it's a great way to avoid the dreaded C note. So that note is actually in tune, but it just sounds really dead. Too much tension there. So I just lump that in with passing notes. So now what you end up is this. And then you can put the blues note in. Next thing is, so pentatonic scale, hexatonic, adding the 9th note. So just think of it a pentatonic scale, but adding this extra note to it. Adding your flat 5 for a bit of colour. And then we're taking that C out because we're in Aeolian for now. But if it was Dorian, all the notes, there wouldn't be an avoid note. And then we can use the C note as like a passing note. The other interesting thing is I do like the hi there, Stelly. I do like the Greg Howe approach where he'll think of notes of the arpeggio as target notes. So in this case, it's like a lot of arpeggios that work really great. Like things like E minor 7, G major, B minor 7 sound pretty good, and that'll give you another sort of like set of target notes. It'll give you a slightly different melodic sound. We'll give them a go. Adding chromaticism to it. So that's using sort of all of those concepts with the arpeggio targeting notes. And then you've got chromaticism. So, you know, basic rock kind of thing would be just rolling up and down to the note that you're wanting to land on, really. But then you can start getting into sort of enclosures, approach notes, neighbouring notes, all that kind of stuff, which gives you a slightly more sophisticated sound. stuff like that. Whoops, missed it. There we go. So some ideas. Thank you, Glitch. So let's have some more likes, everybody. And then what do we think of the new sort of camera angle just coming in closer? I think this has got more presence, hasn't it, than the other one? I think it was far too far back. Good luck for the gig. It'll be all good. Wishing you luck. Not that you'll need it. You'll be fine. You'll kick ass. Alright. I've been studying some of Michael Romeo's stuff from Symphony X. And he modulates key signatures up and down major thirds and minor thirds while playing some of the same licks on top of them. Is that like if you did something like this kind of stuff? Or honestly, I'm happy to share. It's all fine. It's all good. Oh, that's good that he does that. I kind of stopped doing. I mean, I kind of. I'm aware of him. He's a neoclassical fusion guy, isn't he? But I sort of fell out of love with all that thing way back. That style.
I don't wanna do it no more. I don't wanna do it no more. Got me crying.
No, I've just moved the camera forward. At least it's closer. I'll have a little bit of a gratuitous burn on the guitar there. Oh, great tension, thank you. I've just got to release it now, haven't I? Whoa, and what better way? Right. So, you make these backing tracks? Yes, I do. So, I mean, those are actual song like tracks from my band McRocklin and Hutch. So, a little interesting fact about me is that I worked as a dance producer and prolifically wrote a lot of tunes, especially between the years of 2014 and 2019. There was well over 122 tracks that I released. I charted 7 times. I was signed as a producer to the label management company and agent 2 Dutch, which is wonderful for a couple of years. So I did do that. So, I can make a tune, put it that way. The other thing about that is if anybody's interested in making any music, I am running a coaching group where I teach you to be prolific and make absolutely shed loads of music. That group is going to start next week. So this is the last call for anybody who wants to join. You can get on board now. Okay, you've got till Monday, I would say. So if you're wanting to make a lot of music, then you can kind of jump on this group. and I can pretty much guarantee, as long as you do what I say, you'll be making a ton of music, you'll be releasing music, and as an artist you'll be on the map, which is a wonderful feeling. It's great to wake up and then feel that you're sort of like in that game, you know, to feel that you're an artist. I remember that feeling. You know, for many years I had a dip in my career and I found it really difficult to get back into it, and I found a music coach who got me out of it, and it was the best thing ever. I actually ended up coaching for that coach in the end for a lot of years. And right, Jenna, I can't, I'm gonna do story time on a different day. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to do it on a different day. I'll do it on the next. Oh God. I need to advertise it. Is what I need to do. So what Jenna's talking about is a ghost story. That I experienced. Sounds good, doesn't it? But I'll tell you what, I'll tell you it. All right. How are we doing for? So let's have some more likes for the ghost story, and I'll tell it. It's a true story. Some of you may have heard it. I have told it before. So one Christmas, probably around about 2010 or something like that. It was a while ago. Me and the missus decided to go on holiday at Christmas to no other place than Chillingham Castle. So anybody who knows about Chillingham Castle is on the Northumberland border. It's sort of Northumberland into Scotland. It was a military muster point for the English when they were fighting the Scots. Okay, so it was very much a military fortification. This would have been round about the 1200s, but it's very famous for basically killing a lot of people and torturing people and just horrendous stuff. But if you look it up on YouTube, it's one of the most haunted places in the world is Chillingham Castle. And we stayed in what would be called the dairy apartment. So the dairy apartment, what it was, is part of the castle that's technically an old. It was the fridge, and that's where we stayed for a night. So there was me, my other half, and my daughter. And I mean, my daughter at the time, she was only about 2. She didn't know where she was. Thought she was in a fairy tale. Probably not even thought she was in a fairy tale castle. I mean, it's anything other than a fairy tale castle, I can tell you that. So anyway, if you look at the history of Chillingham Castle, it was a horrendous place. I mean, they were tying bodies to the castle walls. They were hanging them like bits of bodies all over the like forest and stuff like that. They were torturing, killing on average around about 50 people a day. It was just absolutely a horrendous place. So there was many atrocities kind of there. Hence it being like very haunted. Yeah. So we checked into the dairy apartment, and we don't drink, so we weren't drunk or anything like that, not even tired. And it was just like a normal kind of apartment with a kitchen. It was like the apartment, the living room was upstairs, bedrooms were downstairs. There was about three bedrooms that we had, plus like this open kind of thing at the living room and the kitchen were all open plan. So that was all very nice, you know. And I noticed there was like, they had all kinds of weird stuff hanging up on the walls. There was this big like gong and things where the staircase was. But anyway, we were up till about 11ish, 12 maybe. And then we decided to go to bed. Now, before I went to bed, my other half, Sharon, had been to the library and she photocopied a little bit about where we were staying, in particular the dairy apartment. It was in a reference book in Newcastle Library. So that was very good. So she photocopied it. And I was reading this thing, and it was fascinating about the dairy apartment. It's like, wow, I'm reading this out of a book, and I'm actually sitting in this place. This is so cool. And anyway, I was reading it, and then it got to this bit where it said that some clairvoyants were hired. What was it? Not clairvoyants. It was something a bit more hardcore than the clairvoyant. But they hired. What do you call it? Let's say clairvoyants then, all right, for now. So they hired these people in because they were having problems in that apartment. And they actually made contact with, and then she didn't photocopy the rest. So all I knew was like they'd made contact with something, right? But I didn't know what. So, and I was like, Sharon, where did you photocopy the rest of it? And she was like, no, that's it. And I went, no, it's like kind of finished here. And she went, oh, maybe there was more, but I didn't do it. So I was like, all right, fair enough. And we went to bed, thinking nothing of it, you know. So there we are, tucked up. Glad to be tucked up. Tucked up, in bed, and I'm trying to get to sleep. I cannot sleep. This room, I mean, it was pitch dark, right? And it felt like there was loads of stuff in the room. Like, not just like one thing, but the whole room was just this weird kind of electricity thing kind of going on. And it went on for ages. And I thought, oh, you know, when you start worrying, you think like, oh, I need to get to sleep. I can't I've got to drive tomorrow. I need my sleep. So I was shutting my eyes and then I opened them. And in front of me, right? Right in front of me was this like neon blue. It looked like a torso, so you can imagine like two hands like this. And it was like at a 45 degrees. And it was like this dull kind of blue, pulsating neon kind of energy thing. And it had green flashes that were coming past my face. And this thing it didn't look like it looked more like alien to me. But it was sort of just hovering there above me at a 45-degree angle. And it was like it was observing me. I didn't feel particularly like massively threatened or anything like that. So I'm looking at this thing, right? So, for ages, I nudged Sharon. And I went like, look at this, right? And she turned over. I remember she was on her side and she rolled over and she looked up. She didn't say anything. And then I said, what colour is it? What colour can you see? Right? And she said, blue. And I was like, whoa. And you know that feeling of like, this is happening, right? This is like weird. This is like happening. And then I switched the light on and the room was clear. There was nothing there. And I went, right, I need the toilet. And then, when you think you're too scared to go to the toilet. So I went, right, I'll have to go to the toilet. So I went to the toilet and I ran to the toilet. In the toilet, pushed the toilet, back. That's how fast I ran. It's my cartoon running. Into bed. I turned the light off. Trying to struggle to get to sleep. And then suddenly, there's this, the gong that I mentioned. Gong! I was like, what is that? Oh no. And at that point, I just gave up and I don't care. I'm going to sleep. I'll do whatever I can. And it was just the most restless, awkward sleep I ever had. So anyway, the next day came. And we went back home. And the first thing I did was get back to that library because the bit of history that I was reading about the dairy room, Gillingham Castle. I went to that library. I went, I've got to get that out. So I went to the library and I was trying to find, and I found it. I thought this is amazing, and I got to the bit where it finished. The photocopy Sharon did. And I was reading it, and it said that these paranormal experts, that's what it was, had made contact with a boy who apparently had died in that apartment. He was chased in there and mauled by some dogs and killed. Very sad. And basically, when it said when they made contact, there was a loud metallic clang. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but even now, when I think about that, the hairs stand up on my arm. Because remember, when I tried to get to sleep after seeing what I'd saw, there was a loud metallic clang. It was a gong. Doof. Clearly I could hear it. So really bizarre. Really bizarre. Anyway, Sharon was freaked out. Dr. Sharon there. She's a professor. Deals only with logic now. I mean, she used to be an artist, by the way. I mean, she still is. But she only deals with facts and logic. Couldn't work it out. She could not work this whole thing out. When she left Chillingham Castle, she was going, I saw something. And they were like, we don't believe a lot of people, but we believe you. So anyway, she needed logic. She needed to find out more. So she put her experience down as a PowerPoint presentation, right? And we'll have this old Victorian library called the Lytton Phil. It's like something out of Harry Potter. It's brilliant in town. She's a member of it. I'll go and sit in there sometimes. In fact, I'll go there and read my Brett Stein book when I get a chance. So she... Hold on. Come on, camera. So she put this PowerPoint presentation together. It had floor plans on and the whole experience, all this kind of thing. And then she advertised a presentation that she held at the Lytton Phil. And Northeast ghost hunters came out to it. It was hilarious. There was like a load of people in there, and she explained what she said and they debated it. And the general consensus was there was something there. And that is the story. That is my experience. What do you guys reckon? Chillingham Castle. I highly recommend it. If you want a holiday where you just feel terrorised and you're absolutely shitting your pants the whole time, then Chillingham Castle's your place. I can highly guarantee it for that. Anyway, let's have some more likes. Let's have some more subscribers. Let's celebrate Chillingham Castle. Well, the owner, I remember there's an interview with him going, and he's saying, you know, he's some lord, and he's very eccentric, and he was like, yes, and when I die, I can't wait to be with the spirits. The whole of Backloo Forest, is that where you are? So your place will be really haunted, Stelly. I'm sure it is cool. Hi, Analog. Man. Pleasure, Enzo. How was my storytelling? I'm not sure if I can talk too well when I'm playing. Thank you. Oh, I like that. We'll have questions and answers. It's like time just evaporates these instrumentals when I play on them. Questions and answers. Let's go. What would you like to ask? So we've got a little bit of time left. Get typing. Let's have some more likes. Please do subscribe to the channel. Respect always, share and smash the likes. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Right, what do I use Ableton Live. Thank you, Dan. So I use Ableton Live. Is my main thing. And guitar wise, I use Polychrome DSP. My favourite one is Nunchuck. Actually, Graphene's very good as well. So I'm gonna have to get that installed. So Graphene's out now. That's a new plugin, new amp thing. It's aggressive. It's in your face, and it's very, very good. Yep, I'll send it your way, and then we can get that edited. That would be good. How bad is the learning curve? Well, I'm permanently having a learning curve, because obviously learning music is a lifelong quest, isn't it? So I'm about to start another horrendous learning curve. Look at this. I think I might have bitten off more than I can chew, but I got these books delivered. This one's not so bad, like Brett Stein, Messiaen Etudes. So this is all in the quest of. I highly recommend that. That's not so bad. But this, the Mystery Volume 1. So this is the a deconstruction of the harmony, melody, compositions and improvisations of Alan Holdsworth by Brett Stein. Look at that. Isn't that just a monster of a book? So there's a learning curve. But it's not bad, it's enjoyable. You have to embrace learning. You have to embrace the uncertainty of the future, of what it might bring. You have to embrace that your time may be wasted, because that is also part of the learning curve, isn't it? It's like doing something, failing, and then course correcting. So it isn't bad. And actually, if you consider the bad side of it, that feeling of finding something difficult, then that's our brain actually working on the problem. You're meant to feel like that. So there's a thing called the 4 C's, which is the first C is commitment. So you make a commitment to learn something, okay? The second C is courage. You have to have the courage to see it through, and that's where learning, as I'm talking about just earlier, is very difficult, very hard, and some people think, oh, this is really hard, I'm not getting it, I'll give up. You need to push through that and keep going, because the third C is that you get new capabilities. So new capabilities are your skills. And because you've got the new capabilities and skills, right, that gives you the confidence. And when you have the confidence, you want to go right back to the beginning. You're not going to go, oh, well, that's it. I've learned now. I'll just spend the rest of my life just feeling good about that thing. It's never enough. And it's never enough for me. So I have to do something else. So you go back to the beginning. You find something else to do. You make that commitment, courage, new capabilities, and you keep going round that curve. Now, when sort of that learning journey is explained to me, we can all identify with that and then realise that, the awkward feelings, the feelings of joy, these are all normal, and we're all human beings and we all share this. So that is the 4 C's. So I hope that answers that. How bad is the learning curve? Awful. The learning curve is awful. Well, you need the new capabilities. The other thing you want to do, reading between the lines exam, is that when you're going for your sessions and you're learning something, that problem is broken down into multiple objectives and aims and objectives. I don't know if I can fit that book in my mouth, but I'd bite it off. Traveling is rough for practice. What advice can you give for a guitarist that practice regularly but take 3 days travel break? Take an acoustic guitar with you. Or take one of your just electric guitars, headless guitars with you. And so that's what I would do. You have to just be with your instrument. And just think how you can do that. Because if you're in the car drive, I mean, you can always take a guitar with you. I mean, me and Thomas were talking about going off somewhere for a bit. And just taking guitars and stuff. So it's possible. Because it would be nice to do like a stream somewhere different, wouldn't it? Like Malaysia, for example. On a beach. I'm looking to invest in the Kronos 2 workstation, but those doors intimidate me. I want to create orchestra, but as you said, commitment, I will learn to play. Right, so I can tell you now that you'll outgrow that Kronos, and 100% you need to just get a door because it's expandable, it'll grow with you, and just take the learning curve plunge. It's a lot easier than looking at a Kronos screen. And less limiting, and you can do the full process. Because when it comes to the mixing and mastering on Kronos, you'll find it really difficult. The inspiration of the late of sound is a struggle, lack of sound. Right. Again, struggle, that's all part of the journey, isn't it? It's like getting through it and the uncertainty. Course correcting, modifying, different aims, different objectives to overcome the problem. Use my review system wins problems and opportunities, Enzo, and you will be fine because then you'll always be clear on what you need to do. Remember, the wins problems and opportunities isn't something that I kind of invented out at the top of my head. This is something that was based on David Deutsch, who is an amazing physicist and philosopher who has the brain the size of a planet. Argues that knowledge is more expansive than the universe, and the only way to get to that knowledge is really solving problems. So the fact that you experience problems is great because you can think of that problem and that barrier as something that when you solve will be a massive breakthrough. Making lemons out of lemonade. I take it that's a good thing. All right, everybody, that's me done for the stream today. Do like the 23 likes. Come do a few more. That'd be good. Yeah, good night. All right. 24. If we've got one more. Possibly. Going. Right, I'm gone now. Bye, everybody. Thank you.